One of the Western Conference Finals on tap tonight, and I've got a play on the total, which I really love, for Golden State and Oklahoma City. That's coming up in a moment. Plus a review of how the first two rounds of the playoffs have broken down from an ATS and over-under perspective. But first, an announcement. Josh Kelly, when he joined this site back in late January, around January 23rd, had a 6-month contract, and I decided today to terminate that contract for two reasons. Before I tell you what they are, let me just preface my statements by saying this. I was a hell of a better handicapper and a gambler when I was 34 than when I was 24. And when I hit 44, I was a hell of a lot better than when I was 34 or 24 as well. Because age, wisdom, experience, it goes hand in hand as a handicapper and a gambler. Not to make you pick games better, but it allows you to understand the concept of money management. And here's what I'm driving at. You know, when he started at the site, he won 10 of his first 12 plays. I think he won 9 of his first 11 top-rated 100-dime releases, and then he hit the skids. Everybody hits the skids. It's all cyclical. It happens with teams. It happens with players. It happens with handicappers. It happens with gamblers. I've told you that a zillion times. He hit the skids. He had some good days, had some bad days, but let's be honest. Over the past 8 weeks, you know, the boulder was rolling down the highway, down the hill, and there was a lot of momentum behind it. That's the bottom line. Now, when I recognize a losing streak, that's when I dial down. And smart handicappers and smart gamblers, you dial down, meaning you accumulate that bankroll. Okay? And listen, when you've got that bankroll and you're playing with somebody else's money, I'm the first guy to say that when you see that opportunity in front of you, you got to strike. You see a game you like, you play it big, win or lose, you took a shot. But when you start losing, you've got to get conservative for a little bit. You've got to dial down your ratings. You've got to dial down the money that you're betting to conserve that capital, because you know there's a brighter day around the corner, but you got to see when that wagon's coming around the hill to hop on again. You've got to try to catch that next wave, another cliche, how do you like that one, to make sure that you're starting to feel it again. Because you're just like a hitter at the plate who feels he's working his way out of the slump, and once he gets going again, every fastball looks like it's going 72 miles an hour. Same thing as a gambler, same thing as a handicapper. So here's the thing. That, I think, worked against Duffy because at 24, 25 years old, I just don't think he was prepared for that. And listen, I'm also going to be totally frank with you. He wasn't a guy that I wanted to hire. Okay, he came recommended to Steve. Steve vetted him, really felt good about him, thought he gave a fresh perspective. And listen, when the guy wins 10 of his first 12 plays, you look like a genius adding him to the site, okay? But here's the thing that really annoyed me. He had a 100-dime series play on the Miami Heat, plus $1.20 going into game number 7 yesterday, right? Had a series play on the Heat. Came out with a 200-dime play yesterday on Miami in game number 7, plus 4.5 points. Made absolutely no sense to me from a money management system. I don't care if he even won that game yesterday. I would have made the same damn announcement today. And you know, guys, I don't mess around when it comes to this stuff. It's my company, it's my site, and I can get rid of people whenever the hell I want to. And what really frustrated me was this. You know, you only have under 3,000, or I want to say 300 dimes of net profit left in your bankroll. You've got a 100-dime play on the Heat in the series plus $1.20. What the hell are you doing coming out with a 200-dime play? Granted, you hit number 1 with Miami in overtime in game number 4. But what are you doing coming with another one on the road in game number 7? It made no sense from a financial aspect. And that's what I mean from he was clueless when it came to money management. Clueless, because the play yesterday was to take a pass if you had Miami, because if you like Miami in the series and you got the game number 7, then you either ride Miami or you have a 100-dime play on Toronto, hope you don't get middled, which is the unlikely situation anyway, meaning Toronto only wins by 3 instead of covering the 4.5-point number, and you walk away basically with a split, maybe lose a little big depending on what the prices were. That's the way you strategically play it. So when I saw he had the 200-dime play, I emailed him, and I said to him last night, what are you doing? And I basically laid it out for him. And he said back that, I really liked Toronto at first, but I just felt to pull the trigger on the Heat was the way to go. So, sayonara, gone. I'll find somebody else to fill his bill at the site because I can't put up with crap like that. So, anyway, Listen, I don't like Scott Delaney, as you know, here at the site, but as long as Delaney, okay, granted, he lost a 109 play last night on the Dodgers, right? And it was one of the featured discounted plays. But you look at his long-term earnings with 59 plays or higher. You look at his 109 plays or better, his record with them over the years as a charter member of the site. I don't have to break bread with the guy. I don't going to have to hang out with him at the family barbecue, you know? I'm not going to exchange Christmas cards with him either. But if he does his job and he understands what's going on here at the site, that's all that matters to me as the guy that runs it, as a handicapper, and as a gambler. That's what you should appreciate as well. Okay, guys, let's talk about game number 1 here of the series. You know, what I find so interesting here is that, look at this total. It's right around 223.5 points right now. First meeting of these two teams, the total was 233.5. The second meeting of these teams in the regular season, the total was 233. The third meeting of these teams, the total was 230. You have a total here for game number 1 when the Thunder are playing at peak performance time right now. That is 7 points almost under the lowest total during the regular season and 10 points under the other two totals during the regular season. Now, granted, in the playoffs, generally speaking, you're going to find teams play more defensive style ball. You're going to see more half-court action as teams slow down the tempo. Did you see the Oklahoma Thunder slowing down the tempo against the Spurs? Did you see the Golden State Warriors slowing down the tempo against the Portland Trail Blazers? No, I don't think so. So I'm looking at this game and I'm thinking, how do you play this anywhere other than over? That's the bottom line. You have an Oklahoma City team that doesn't shoot as well as Golden State, but an Oklahoma City team that absolutely hammered them in the regular season on the boards. And of course, you know, the Thunder led the NBA both in rebounds per game and rebounding margin this season as well. You've got a Golden State team that can just light it up from anywhere on the floor. You've got a Kevin Durant who was just magnificent in 3 games against the Warriors this season. I don't care who they threw at him. They threw Andre Iguodala at him. They had Harrison Barnes playing him. They had Draymond Green on him. And you know what? It didn't stop Durant. I mean, not even a little. Durant in the 3 regular season meetings averaged 36 points, 12 rebounds, and 6.3 assists. In 30 career games against Golden State, he averaged 30.9 points, 8.8 rebounds, and 5 assists. Russell Westbrook during the regular season didn't shoot well against Golden State, but averaged 25 points a game. And you have an Oklahoma City team who centers Steven Adams and then Enes Kanter off the bench were magnificent, just great. In the second round upset of San Antonio, you have a Thunder team that is playing with such great confidence. You got their 2 big men who have combined to average a little over 21 points a game so far in the postseason, plus averaged nearly a double-double when it comes to points and rebounds as well, as the 2 have combined to average about 18 rebounds. So it is a double-double. I meant a 20-20 split in terms of the double-double for those guys. But again, you have all the elements here. A Golden State team that doesn't rebound, a Golden State team that shoots extremely well. Steph Curry, he looked pretty good in his 2-game return. You have a Warriors team that played absolutely no defense, couldn't stop the Portland Trail Blazers if their life depended on it, right? But at the same time, you have a Golden State team that scored playoff highs in the final 2 games of that series. You have an Oklahoma City Thunder team that started playing well in the game against Dallas, loses by 32 points in Game 1 at San Antonio, and then wins 4 of the next 5 against the Spurs, a veteran Spurs team, a great defensive team, a defensive team that only gave up 92 points per game during the regular season, and the Thunder had their way. And this line, again, is 7 points lower for the total than the lowest total during the regular season meetings and 10 points lower almost than the other 2 regular season meetings. Again, I don't know why you would want to play the under. It might be a loser, but hey, I'm going with the over in this one. Now, the under so far in the postseason is 38, 27, and 1. But we saw a dramatic shift in round number 2 as the over actually went 13 and 9. In terms of the favorites, 39, 26, and 1 against the spread so far through the postseason after the Raptors won yesterday. Favorites in the second round went 12, 9, and 1 ATS. Home teams, 21 and 17 in the first round, 13-9 ATS in the second round. So 4 games over 500 in each of the first 2 rounds. That'll do it, guys. I'll take the over here tonight. I'll let you know when we add another handicapper here to the site. I wish you well, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow when we do this one more time.